fucking GoPro dying on me. Not even dying on me. Fucking, it just straight up was just like, yeah, hey, I'm all done recording. Like 14 seconds into the video that I was trying to record. So I'm not recording that shit again because I don't feel like talking about that for another, like, however fucking long I was talking about it for. Fuck that shit. I'll do that I'll do that video later on. God damn. I almost forgot about the most important part of the video. What to do, YouTube? It's BFO Moto. How the hell is it going, you guys? Hopefully you all are having a good day. I was having a pretty good day until my GoPro decided I wanted to take a shit. It got like 14 seconds into the video that I was recording and it stopped recording. So I was sitting here just talking and riding around and whatnot, and nothing was being recorded. So I went back home. I picked up my a couple of spare batteries because, well, I have no idea when the next time I'm going to be able to ride, because apparently it's going to be either raining or snowing all this fucking week, so I'm definitely not going out on the bike then. So we'll see what happens. I'm actually back out on my motorcycle with my dad here today. There he is, if you can see him in the mirror. He's on his street bob again, so we've been kind of riding a little bit. It's pretty fun. It's always fun riding with somebody else. We actually ended up taking our rider's course together, and that was pretty neat. So it's kind of cool taking a rider's course like with my dad. Even though he's been like a lot more experienced than I am, he still had to go through and do it because of his endorsement and lower insurance costs, shit like that. So, but having ridden with my dad and done the rider's course with him, and you know, now riding with him again, I kind of wanted to go over something that I thought would be kind of a neat video. I think I'm gonna have two videos about this. One of them will be like what I've learned after a year of riding, because it's almost, ooh, that's a nice Aston. Because it's almost been a year since I've started riding. Hasn't been a year since I've had my motorcycle, but a year since I've been riding, at least on the street. And but this video is going to be my biggest fears, being a relatively new rider on the street. And I'm pretty sure that I share a lot of these with a lot of other people, or a lot of other people share it with me. I don't know the wording for that one. Fuck it. Damn, my arms are cold. Should have worn a different jacket. Underneath, at least. My hands are cold. Not my hands, my arms. I don't know if I remember the entire loop, so I may do this to tell you to go past, because I don't know if I know it all. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know if I know all of it, so. Okay. Well, if I end up fucking up, just pass me. So yeah, let's cover my biggest fears as a relatively new rider. Or I guess my biggest fears as a rider. I don't know if any of these will actually go away or not. I hope that they do. And I don't really have a certain number of them, so I'm not going to make a list video or anything like that. It's just, I'm going to say them and keep talking until I either run out of videos or think that the video is long enough, one of the two. So let's talk about my first biggest fear. And that is obviously crashing. Holy shit, am I terrified of crashing on a motorcycle. And like, I don't care how little the crash is. I don't care if it's just like if I were to fucking take a tumble right now going, what, 40? I'm terrified of crashing because I know no matter what it's going to hurt, and I know no matter what it's going to scare me off the bike for the rest of my life. And what I really don't like is that there's a lot of riders out there that are like, there are only two types of riders. Those who have crashed and those who haven't. And it's just like, well, I think I've already crashed once, so I'd like it if I don't do it again. And there's a story behind that. Essentially, while I was in the rider's course, we were on Harley Street 750s, which, first of all, were way too fucking tiny for me, so the center of gravity was higher than it was supposed to be. I'm just making up excuses, by the way. So yeah, the center of gravity was way too high for me and stuff like that. It was an uncomfortable bike for me to ride. It was a hydraulic clutch, so it had no feeling to it. All this shit. And so I was taking this little S-turn at super slow speeds, because that's what we were supposed to be trying to do, is take it as slow as possible. And I thought that I had the clutch far enough out. So I thought that I had the clutch engaged, and I was giving her a little bit of throttle and stuff, just trying to get her to go around the turn. I was like, oh shit, it's starting to slow down more than I want it to. Let me give it a little bit more throttle. And it wasn't speeding up, and I was just like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, next thing I know, the fucking bike tips over, and I'm just like, well, son of a bitch. So, but no, I'm afraid of crashing, and I'm hoping that that the gods of making people crash will take mercy on me, because I've already done it. So I am one of those people who has downed a bike before. Well, luckily it wasn't my own. Well, I mean, I guess I have downed my own bike, but it wasn't while I was on it. So yeah, I'm terrified, absolutely terrified of crashing my motorcycle. Not only for like my own personal injury, because I mean, yeah, that's obviously the major part of it, but also because, you know, I really like how my bike looks and stuff, you know. And to see to see it destroyed, to see it all scuffed up and damaged and shit, I wouldn't be okay with that. That would actually make me really sad. Maybe that's just me. I'm terrified of crashing or anything. And I guess that all of my fears kind of stem from being afraid of crashing. So I guess that's the entire video right there, folks. Thanks for watching. No. So another thing too is like all these cracks on the road. And I know that this fear shouldn't really be that big of an issue or anything like that. Let's go over here. This fear shouldn't really be that big of an issue. I'm sure that my dad's pissed off at me for doing that one. I just wanted to have him back. And I know that this fear is kind of stupid, and I don't know, maybe it's a legitimate fear, maybe it's not, but all these like little cracks on the road, I'm terrified that my tire is going to just find its way in, and then I will just take a tumble because I can't get out. And this fear actually came from an experience that I had on the freeway. I was going on 405, and for whatever reason, I just wasn't paying attention to the road. I was paying attention to the cars in front of me, making sure I wasn't, you know, crashing. This was back when I first started riding. And all of a sudden, my two wheels ended up in this, like, super deep crack. And I couldn't get them out. And the crack was just fucking throwing my bike everywhere. And it was terrifying. I thought I was going to eat shit at, like, 70. And I was just like, well, that would have been a short motorcycle riding career right there. So that definitely scared me. So now, even now, and I mean, I know that like most of these cracks aren't really going to cause much of an issue, but even now whenever I see a crack, I try to avoid it, just subconsciously. And if I do go over them, I tense up, and I'm afraid about crashing. So I don't know. That's kind of just a subconscious one, and that's kind of silly. We'll see if my dad's angry at me for fucking stopping. I guess not. He's just in front of me now, that's all. I went to go and look at him, and he just kind of drove past because the light turned green, so there was that. Hold on. We were getting into Woodinville. I'm like, okay, this is where I don't know where I'm supposed to go, and I really can't see him, so that's why I pulled off to the side and just let the fucker go. I was like, fuck this shit. So yeah, so the cracks, those are a huge thing for me. Like, I don't know why. I just am afraid of the cracks on the road, and I know that I shouldn't be. And I know that, like, for the most part, I can drive over them. It's one of those fears that will take a little while for me to get over. And I mean, there definitely were fears that I had at the beginning that have gone away, which I'm also going to discuss in here, because, you know, it's fears that new riders have. A fear that I had when I first started riding was taking a turn from a stop, and that was just because in the course that we did, we definitely practiced it, but it was my weakest point in the entire course was taking like 90-degree turns from a stop, and I really didn't like it. And for, I'd say, the first couple of months, and it's actually why I used to cut out a lot of my turns in my videos, I don't know if you guys ever noticed that or not, I was terrified of taking turns from a stoplight. And I'd always fuck them up, and it'd be super awkward. But now that I have lower handlebars, I can take them a lot better, just because I have more control over it. So that's always cool. I don't feel the same way anymore. And we're behind traffic, which sucks. So, well, the thing is that, like, I never really had much of an issue taking left-hand turns. And this is the thing, is that for those of you guys who haven't started riding yet, or don't ride, or don't know anything about riding, I don't know if this is consistent with everybody. I think that it is. I've heard a few people talk about it. Everybody has a weak side. And by a weak side, I mean a side that they don't like turning as much. And for me, that is the direction of right. I have no problems with a left-hand turn. I can get super deep in a left-hand turn. But my right-hand turns, I feel a little bit uneasy dipping into them, you know? I feel a little bit uneasy having any kind of a lean in the bike. So starting, I was always afraid a little bit of getting going from a stop. Once again, that's just kind of one of those fears that you get over as you start riding more, and I mean, it's a thing that you have to do, so why the fuck would you be afraid of it, right? It's just how I was. But I knew that I had to do it, so it's just whatever. And here's the thing, is that, like, turns are like some of the most fun parts about riding motorcycles. Like, taking turns is awesome, and goes back to the whole, like, I'm afraid of crashing. But, like, when you go into a turn, you aren't supposed to hit the brakes. You can, but you can't do it harsh. Like, when you're turning in a car and you hit the brakes, you might have a little bit of understeer, or if you have a front wheel drive, maybe a little bit of oversteer or something like that. And that's about it. But on a motorcycle, it can end in catastrophe. Like, no joke. If you hit your front brakes on a motorcycle while you're taking a turn and you're going fast enough, or you've hit the brakes hard enough, you'll end up doing something called low siding, which is where you go under the bike. And that sucks because you get like 600 pounds of fucking metal on your legs and you're sliding, and that really hurts. I'm sure. I've never experienced it, but I've experienced it on a regular bicycle, and it hurt like a motherfucker then, and I'm sure it would hurt like a motherfucker like this. And if you hit your back brakes in a turn, you'll do something called high siding, which is where, well, your motorcycle turns into a catapult and you become the Rock and you go flying, which also is no fun. And I don't know which one I'm more afraid of. I don't know if I'm more afraid of having 600 pounds of metal land on me, or if I'm more afraid of turning into a birdie and flying through the air. Both suck ass, I'm sure of it. So if you guys are learning how to ride or about to get into riding, don't watch videos of high sides or low sides, because I'm sure that it will scare a lot of you guys away from riding, and it just really shouldn't, because the likelihood of it happening is super low as long as you follow proper techniques. Man, this battery is fucking dying like no other. God damn it. I'm having some GoPro issues here, folks. I may have to cut this video a little bit short. But, yeah, I mean, those are my primary fears, you know? That's kind of where I stand on these things. It's really weird. I have weird fears, I guess, and I don't know if everyone else shares the same ones, but those are my primary ones, and those are the main ones that I really wanted to talk about. I have no idea how long this video was. I kind of lost track of time because, you know, traffic is super slow, and I know that I'm not that far away from home. But anyways, you guys, I think that more or less does it for this video. Like I said, I think it's relatively short. I don't know. I won't know until I'm editing it. I have a really bad sense of how long my videos are while I'm recording, so sometimes I'll say, hey, this video is going to be short, and it turns out to be like 15 minutes long. Or I'll go and I'll expect the video to be really long, and I edit it, and it's like 6 minutes, so. But anyways, you guys know what to do. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more weekly content. And I do apologize, you guys, about last week and being late with my uploads. I had some things going on that I'm not really going to go into detail about right now, but I will maybe later on, just when the situation kind of glosses over and we're more certain of what's going on with it. But anyways, like I said, more stuff to come, hopefully more frequently, which would be great. So yeah, also don't forget, and I have to remind you guys, don't forget about the giveaway. Like I said, at 100 subscribers, I'm giving away, it's going to be a free t-shirt from the apparel company that I'm starting here relatively soon, as well as some channel merchandise. So things like, I'm thinking that I'm going to start off with some stickers. So you guys will get some free stickers and a t-shirt. But anyways, you guys, catch y'all later. Bye.